Welcome back. So through advancements in technology, the way we interact with history is more immersive than ever before.
One museum, in fact, is using those kind of innovative tools to tell the stories of Holocaust survivors. And Dan Grossman explains.
Hi, Pinter. How are you?
Reasonably well.
It's apparent that Pintus Gunter is not actually in front of me. In fact, the recordings we are interacting with were filmed back in 2014.
During the Holocaust, I first lived for the first couple of months after the war started in my hometown in Łódź.
But I can tell you from listening to him for about 20 minutes, Gunter's story of how he survived the Holocaust as a teenager stuck with me in a way few stories have after reading about them in history books.
My parents, my mother, my father, and my sister, my twin sister, they were murdered the same day when we arrived at the death camp and concentration camp Majdanek. But after the war, I found that out of over 150 family members, extended ones, 4 cousins remained alive.
Among Jews who survived the Holocaust, Gunter's story is sadly not unique, and this current generation is the last one that will get to hear it firsthand.
We have a moral obligation to capture the memory of these survivors so that they can be used to build awareness and understanding for future generations.
Rob Williams is the executive director of the USC Shoah Foundation, which has spent the last 10 years recording 63 interactive biographies such as Pintus's, so visitors to Holocaust museums across the country and world can learn of the atrocities of the Holocaust differently and more personally.
I became a very closed-in person, where before the war, I was a very bubbly, open person.
According to the Claims Conference, a nonprofit that seeks reparations for the Holocaust, there are just over 400,000 Holocaust survivors left, and estimates show most will die by the year 2035.
They're going to relive the most traumatic memories of their life. It's not an easy process for them. You can see it in their eyes as they go back.
Ryan Fenton Strauss is the director of media and archives for the foundation and has helped incorporate artificial intelligence into the program.
Where did you grow up?
Through the technology, people can ask questions of these survivors, even after they have died, and the technology will allow the survivors to respond almost immediately with the most appropriate answer.
How did you keep motivated to stay alive?
The goal is to allow people to experience history in a way that feels more personal and natural, so it creates a psychological bond as if they were listening to the survivors in real life.
Having the opportunity to engage in a conversation, or as close as you can get to a conversation with an individual from that period, it's a real way to build a psychological bond to the subject, to build a deeper understanding and awareness, not just of what had happened, but of your own responsibilities today when you're encountering moments that echo the past.
So far, these interactive biographies are available in 10 languages and at 185 sites around the globe, an effort to ensure that even as the survivors pass away, the world never forgets.
That's the truth.
Oh, man. And I mean, I think a lot of the AI technology out there, it's kind of scary. We don't know quite where it's all going. But that's beautiful. That is so. I've never heard anything like that. Like, you have the opportunity to pose the question, so you feel like you're having the conversation. And he's sorry. That's a powerful. Particularly when we're talking about the Holocaust or any evil like that. Like, you get to really feel like you're experiencing it and interacting with the person. That's extraordinarily powerful. That's a brilliant use of AI for educational purposes.
I couldn't agree with you more. It creates that feeling of intimacy, right? Just like an intimate, private conversation, and yet it's able to have that same conversation with many, 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 many people, so that the views do psychologically stick with you more, and everything can kind of, impressed upon you, and as you go forth and live your life, you remember the history, the bad history, the ugly history, that people have been through, who have gone before you. And so it's truly fascinating. I never thought I would live to see a day like this. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. I mean, I can't imagine what's going to happen in the years to come as technology continues progressing.
Because it brings you out of a history book page and brings it to life in a powerful way. That's really, and a moral obligation to not forget that kind of stuff, as you heard there. Wow.